Man, the Big 12, what a league, man. It's obviously a super talented BYU team who had us on the ropes there with about 12 minutes to go in the game. And, man, the energy in the United Supermarkets Arena is just, it's hard to describe to people until you experience it. And just the will to win in the building. We played good. Lawan came out of that timeout and made a three, and it just felt like we got a lift, and our guys believed that we were going to win the game. But we had to do it in a very defensive way. And the last 10 minutes of that game, we probably played the best defense we played this year. Held them to like a 0.82, 0.83 points per possession, and we're 1.55. And for as many minutes as our guys played, the grit that we showed down the stretch just says a ton about the compete level of JT Toppin, Christian Anderson, and how it's just oozing all over the rest of those guys. And just how we're believing, man. We're believing we can win, and no matter what it takes. It's fun sitting next to Joey McGuire over there and Debbie. That's always a good time. And just, man, it's just a great time to be a Red Raider. And I'm so thankful that we had the 1995-96 team here too. I mean, and record-wise, it's the best team we've had. And I played against them, and I can just tell you they played like our team fought tonight. They did. That's the way they scrapped. And no matter what happened, they found a way to win games, and they were gritty. And I'll tell you, I just love seeing JT Toppin and Christian Anderson compete like they did defensively down the stretch. Get those two blocks. Christian ended up with a rebound. JT's block went off of AJ and went out of bounds, and we ended up getting the call reversed. And I just think those plays say a lot about those two guys right now. They're carrying a heavy load offense, playing 40 minutes, but they're playing defense when it matters the most. So just an awesome night to be a part of. Ton of respect for BYU, obviously. It's a crazy good team, and we know we'll get an opportunity to play them again. So just respect to those guys and Coach Young for how they compete.
In the end-of-game run that really set you all ahead, you talked about the grit. How much of that run and that moment is going to translate into other Big 12 games this year?
Well, I can tell you this. In our league, you better take the things that you know put you in those positions to win the game, and you better try to double down on it and don't think you've arrived. Because, man, this league, you go on the road, you can get beat by anybody on any night and get beat bad. So, man, I hope what it does is it anchors us to the core principles of how we want to defend. And our guys start to see the way you separate and beat teams is getting stops.
And BYU's got that big three of Saunders, Wright, and DeBonsta. Obviously, you held DeBonsta to a season-low 13 points. I'm just curious how you and the rest of the guys managed to defend those guys so effectively.
Yeah, well, give Don credit, because Donovan Atwell, I thought his activity and just his awareness. Don's played on really good teams and been our most consistent defender, and I don't think it's close. I mean, if you take from the first day of practice to now, every game, every practice, Donovan Atwell's been the guy that's shown up every day. Every game, tried to guard the other team's best player, and he's starting to get some nuance to how you do it. You know, he fouled him. The ironic part is AJ gets to the free throw line and gets fouled. AJ drew one foul and got to the free throw line one time, and it was that when he tapped him on the arm. And I told him, man, you got to contest straight up and you got to give space to him. So AJ's really good. He'll bounce back. I mean, he's a load to handle, as we all saw. But to me, it's not the miss or make, it's can you rebound. And that's what I thought separated us was – I mean, we ended up out-rebounding them, even though they got two more offensive rebounds than we did. But that, to me, is kind of the game. Limit fouls. We got to the free throw line more times than they did, and then we out-rebounded them.
Coach, down 9 with 9 to play. Did you adjust anything defensively, or is it just about getting the guys to ratchet up the intensity?
You know, it felt like, because our guys were playing so many minutes, they're like, dang, we still got 12 minutes to go, and it felt like they were trying to hang on there for a few minutes. You know, because when you get to the last 5, you can see the finish line and you can fight a little bit. It felt like we started rushing offensively. We turned it over a couple times. The game kind of got up and down. We lost our defensive gaps and correct fight on the ball, and we just got real loose, man. It looked like we were trying to figure out how much more time was left instead of attacking it. And we just were able to reset those back-to-back timeouts. You know, we got that media, and then I called one, and I thought that really helped us because we needed that 4 minutes of breather just to finish the game and kind of reset. And just I told them, like, I can just tell you, we're going to win this game. I'm telling you in the timeout, we're going to win this game. They'll let you back in it because they'll trade baskets with you. And now we just got to figure out a way to get stops, which is what they committed to.
And how much did the defense help? Because you outscored them 32-10 in the final 9 minutes. How much did the defense fuel the offense?
Yeah, I think defense and getting fouled. You know, I mean, like just our ability to get stops and rebound. And when we did, we were able to not have to play against such a set defense. But our guys' awareness down the stretch and our composure level on offense, I thought was what it needed to be. And that's a big thing for us. It's like when we kind of get panicked and get to doing crazy things and turning the ball over, we have a hard time guarding. We don't have the same composure level on defense. When our offense has composure, then we get a sense of like defensive identity where we can have more composure and fight.
Grant, the way you guys came back there, does that show how much your team has grown since the beginning of the year? Maybe they wouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, our team, and I think you can point to obviously how Christian and JT early in the season, we kind of were feeling like the offensive part was going to save us at times, you know, and I take us back to the Illinois game where we're on the road and we could not guard. We could not get a stop, man. And no, it wouldn't matter like what happened we were scoring, but we could not get stops. And I think our guys have really made a commitment from that time. And now we're seeing the grit that you have to finish games is all about how you compete. I mean, our guys go out at the halftime and they yell defense. They're in the huddles. They're talking about, they're actually communicating what we need to do as the game changes. And they popped us a few times. BYU they run great stuff. And they got us a couple times on some corner screen ins. And they got us on some drive angles. And what I love about JT is JT was the one that messed it up. And he comes over there and he is so upset. He used to be upset at missing free throws. Now he's upset about not playing good defense. That shows you where we've come, how far we've come. And I'm telling you, JT's a worker, man. And the thing that's added to this is JT's not only just working, now he's fighting for us to be great defensively. And that, to me, is where our team's making the biggest jump.
Coach, at the 7-11 mark, you had 7 consecutive BYU fouls that you guys were able to draw. How did that aggressiveness on defense was able to help your offense draw those fouls and get the momentum switched? Yeah,
I mean, Coach Linder said the way we're going to win this basketball game is by controlling what we do on offense and getting the shots that we want. That's how we'll win. And if we get out there and we get away from script, then that just shows you we were getting the ball to the right spots to get fouled. That's honestly what it is. And it feels like when we get away from what makes us great, we take away the foul pressure. And we haven't been able to do that to finish games, is to keep foul pressure on people. JT has such a leverage on the basket, and that's what makes it awesome. But this time it was Jalen Petty getting fouled from 3 on the spacing. It was Donovan Atwell getting fouled from 3. You know, it was them running over Christian Anderson. It was LaJuan Watts. And then it was passing it to JT from LaJuan and JT's and one. You know, it's just like it was the sharing of the ball that led to the fouls because they had to close out with such purpose, and we ended up getting the right shot. So really think that our composure level is what allowed us to really separate on the offensive end and get fouled.
And one of the things that everyone's been talking about is you've had such success with Christian and Toppin. What's it mean to be able to add LaJuan and be able to get significant points and impact from him?
Yeah, well, I think everybody wants everybody to play great on every night, but unfortunately there's this thing called experience that's pretty important. And Christian and JT got to experience that last year in this league. So they're learning, but they're more impacting winning than learning. Where LaJuan's just learning. I hate to say it that way, but it feels like he's such a unbelievably skilled and great feel on the offensive end. But it feels like a lot of the times out there, he's overthinking the possession and he's not playing to his strengths. You see him, he's like kind of half second guessing and traveling, and like he's unbelievable. I loved his attack and trying to dunk on Kada in the first half. Like that to me is like, yes, okay, but then it's like things don't go your way, and now he's kind of looking for like a trick to try to like make somebody miss on something. No, it's got to be stick to the fundamentals, be competitive, make the simple play, and attack people, and then trust your teammates to do the same for you. And it feels like when he gets in that mode right now, he's just still learning. It's not just compete. And he's going to get there, though. Why? Because this means a lot to him, and he practices hard as anybody on our team. He just doesn't have quite the habits that match the experience that you need in this league, but he's getting close.
Yeah, Coach, Robert Wright is top 50 nationally in assists per game, about 5.5. He had 3 of this game, his second lowest of the season. Was that part of the game plan?
Well, ultimately, Rob's such a good scorer, and he's so good at getting to the free throw line. I mean, if you look at their team, he was the one that was drawing the fouls today. He had 7 fouls drawn. And I think with the way that they spaced us and hopefully the way we played them, that they needed him to be in a scoring mode, and that's when they were at their best. And so, they had 5 assists. I do think they missed some threes in the first half, that we intentionally gapped up and made them kick to them. 5 came in and made a big 3, and then Richie got going in the second half, which he got going on a Rob Wright penetrating pitch play. So, give him credit, because I thought he did what the team needed tonight, which is be more of a scorer and be in attack mode to get fouled.
Coach, I know it's not going to show much on the score sheet, but number 8, Groves, came in to you, got you a big steal, got you a big rebound, kind of gave you a little energy out there at times when he was on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of guys, I think, that we've trying to find the right pieces, and Nolan was really a positive for us, especially defensively. I mean, that's where he's really been an anchor for us, and he'll keep improving, and we'll keep adding guys as we get opportunities to. There wasn't a lot of them tonight. Unfortunately, some of it led to some transition defense and bad plays, and so we tried to stick with guys that we felt like were giving us the best chance, but Nolan definitely came in and gave us some good minutes.
You talked about JT's fight. He's kind of tweaked his leg a little bit the last 2 games, but he's played through that the rest of the way. What does it say to you that he's kind of fighting through that, even though you can tell he's in a little bit of discomfort there, but he's still out there, and he never came off the floor tonight?
Yeah, he's I can look at JT because we've been in enough wars together and we've been in enough competitive battles together that I just trust him. So when he looks at me and he needs one, he'll tell me he needs one, and tonight he wanted to win so bad he didn't ever tell me he needed one, and I don't it's not a lot, but I just look at him intently and be like, you okay, man? He's like, oh yeah. I mean, it's not like a yeah, no, it's like, oh yeah. And I trust the way he's preparing every day. I mean, Mike Neal is a pro man at getting their guys ready to play, and Mike and JT are really close, and they work well together. And so you saw him working on it because it was cramps. It wasn't an ankle deal. He just had a few cramps in his calf. So Mike's like giving him gummies and getting him ready to go. And we were able to get a little bit of stoppage a couple times, helped us to kind of get him worked on so that he could finish the game. But man, JT he's been the voice of this team in the last couple weeks. He's been the one that's commanding everybody's attention with what we need to do defensively, and he's been an anchor with the way he's blocking shots. And I thought that block on AJ was kind of the exclamation point to the game where we ended up getting the ball. It just felt like, man, that sent the message like, no, nothing's going to be easy down here, and we're going to win this game because of how we play defense, and it starts with JT.
And Kevin kind of said that when they were shadowing Christian all over the place, you guys kind of forced them out of it with the way LaJuan was kind of distributing on offense. How much did that just kind of help when Christian's out and you got another guy that can kind of generate something?
Oh, and you know what's fun? It's been Jalen Petty, I thought, handled the ball well too. I mean, like, he had a big pull up in the middle of the paint when we were staggering. So I just think it's kind of like it's turning into like Jalen Petty and LaJuan. Like, we can get a good lift on ball handling from both of those guys. Their confidence is growing, and their execution in really tight spaces and competitive moments is growing. And you know what? Those 2 dudes too, they're also the hardest workers. They're the ones that are up there the most of the new guys. And that's the reason why I trust them. You don't trust them because they could be good every once in a while. You trust people because they put in the work and you see it and you go like, okay, we're just going to live with the result because we know that eventually the result's going to be positive. And that's what I'll say about JT shooting threes. If you knew how much he worked on it, how soft his shot's going right now, I'll tell you, I watch him in practice, I think this ball's going to go in. I mean, AC works with him every day, and AC is like literally one of the best assistant coaches in college basketball, man. He's unbelievable. And he works with these guys individually. He's doing all the defense with me, and we've got such a great staff. But AC's like, Coach, I'm telling you, he's about to go on a run because he's really starting to not be disappointed with the misses. And this is talking about JT. And he's starting to just try to win. He's not like discouraged when the ball doesn't go in because he's practiced so much and seen it now. He's got confidence. That's what I'll tell you about Lawan and Jalen Petty, is those dudes are like spending so much time trying to figure out how to be great. I just trust them. It may not work out great. I mean, he missed a wide open layup. You know what I mean? And like you watch our team out of that timeout, all of them are going to cheer for him, saying don't worry about it because they know how much this means to him. That's how you win basketball games when things don't go your way, because you got a belief in your work. And these guys work so hard. So that's why we're going to be successful. We got great talent, but these guys work and care about winning and care about guarding people, and that's why we're going to win.
And you've talked a little bit about the 95, 96 team kind of coming back, and no, that's important to you, but do you see the players kind of resonate with that kind of stuff when teams like that, players like that return to campus?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I told them, and I love Coach Sticky. I mean, I genuinely love Coach Sticky, man. Like, he's a mentor to me. He's a guy I talk to regularly. He's got such great wisdom in this game. He genuinely cares about people, and he loved being a Red Raider, you know? And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. And that team, when they're around us, they see the love that they have for this place, and it's really cool. And there were some guys that wanted to be back but had some last-minute things that didn't work out for them to be here. But I will tell you, there's some inspiration when you look up there and you see a Sweet 16 team and a team that went 30-2, which is the best record we've ever had here. And those guys, the way they won. And I tell them stories too, so they know when they come in, like, oh, these dudes are real, you know. And it was not just an offensive team; it was a defensive team and an elite team of competitors. And when they get a chance to talk to them, that's the coolest interaction that we have, man. Because it's the reason why we have the USA. And the reason why we have this crowd is because those dudes got us out of the Coliseum and won games in a real way that built this thing to where, like, we can do this in basketball at Texas Tech. And it starts to become a real thing. I mean, Gerald Myers is in the locker room with us tonight. I mean, it's so cool, man. This is so awesome to be a part of this and to be a Red Raider. Thanks for the 95, 96 team for coming back, because they really made a difference in our group tonight. Awesome. Thank y'all.
Thanks, Coach.
Glad y'all were here.